Hello and welcome to another Asylum Atelier stream. Welcome to our painting discourse and welcome to this another awesome day to paint. First and foremost, as always, please do not watch this video. This video has zero entertainment value for you. This is really more about painting or creating any sorts of art projects that you might have in mind. So I would encourage you to join me on this endeavor, on this journey, because that's definitely the only way how to enjoy this particular stream. If you are just hanging out and chilling and you assume that you're going to have a good time, that might be a little wishful thinking, because this can get really boring very quick, since this is really more about that. One side is a philosophical and another one is the practical one, so I tend to switch between these two back and forth very often. That means that I have some questions that I pose for myself, and then I have to answer them directly on the canvas. That being said, this is not only about the painting, this is more about the composition. So if you want to, do some writing, if you want to do some sculpting, if you want to just compose, if you have any creative projects, there's a lot of things that we discuss here in this painting discourse. So like I said previously, I should probably change this to a more like a art discourse rather than just painting. But since I am using oil pigments or oil paint, for me it's predominantly about the painting, and today I'm going to be working on this fragment, or continue working on this fragment, which is a fragment of a larger painting that I am working on. So this is more about all the exploration, all the mistakes, all the ideas, mishaps, perhaps it's another word to use. So please join me, set up your easels, papers, I don't know, clays if you're sculpting, because that's the only way how to enjoy this stream. So I don't want to really, again, waste that precious time that we have, the precious sunlight. It's again darker than usual. It's a really gloomy. I feel very much like, that kind of it feels very Flemish here right now. So Rembrandt is on standby. It's ready to be deployed on seconds notice. So I have that kind of energy and vibe going on around here in the studio. So yeah, and also another thing that I would like to say, please try to enjoy this. I know, and I struggle with this myself, and this might be probably a second most important reason why I do these streams, is to just make sure that you guys understand that this is really, I know it's challenging, I know it's a really hard and it can be frustrated, but it hold me back years to just let go of that pressure that, oh, I have to really mix the pigments correctly and I have to place it into a correct spot because I did these meticulous drawings and right now I have to carefully render them out. It's not really about that, and I felt for the longest time probably in my life that this makes no sense. I'm trying, I'm applying pigment, I'm doing everything what I'm supposed to step by step, and nothing is happening. And it was really incredibly damaging, and it felt that that I'm struggling with just the basics instructions, because in my mind I felt what can be so difficult on mixing blue with I don't know, with yellow and making green for the grass. And it's just I just somehow I couldn't comprehend, or I was naive about thinking. I was thinking about painting like last time, when I was in the kindergarten. We just squeezed some tempera pigment on the palette, and then we painted these beautiful pictures of little house and the family and the sun and some clouds, and we assigned the colors to them, and it was so fun. And right now it isn't, and it's mostly because we kind of grew up from that creativity, grew out from that creativity. And it was actually pointed out to me, surprisingly, by that TED Talk video, or actually it's not about the TED Talk, it's more about that Sir Ken Robinson, that he was talking about how young people and kids especially can just enjoy, and they can take a chance, and they can fail, and they're not really fazed by that. So, and it's just, it really, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to just have fun, to see what's going to happen with the pigments, what is going to happen with a painting when I apply them to a canvas. So, but simultaneously, I just don't want to think that I'm only goofing around. No, it's just I'm being very serious about the painting, extremely serious actually about the painting. I don't think that there is anything else in my life that I am that much serious. And it really, it's a part of my everyday life. And if you were here on these streams, you know that I paint every day, and then behind the scenes, it's also always about the painting and adjusting and thinking and advancing it forward. So I am very, very serious about it. It's just the pressure of trying to make everything perfect at once, at the first pass. It went away at one point, and I want to share that with all of you that feel that you struggle with the painting, and you're mixing it and it's not happening, and then this and that. We know from history that perfectly rendered picture is not always the best one. There are plenty of examples that I can point out about the painting. Let's say abstract art. Abstract art has nothing to do with perfection. It's more about that emotion, that feeling, that idea. Then we have a conceptual art, and we have a concept art, even when we go into that digital area. So there is no right and wrong ideas here. They're only the ideas that work, and the ones that doesn't work in that particular subject that you're working on. It does not necessarily mean that you cannot reuse certain ideas that you previously disregard. And I think that that's the beauty and enormous complexity when it comes to paint. There is, I believe, unlimited options that you can mix the colors, or if they're not unlimited, there is very close to being limited, and it's very difficult to reproduce the same mixture over and over again. You can get very close, but there is always, it might be, your brush might be slightly polluted with different color, or you didn't clean your palette knife exactly perfectly. There's so many things that not necessarily can go wrong, but can affect and randomize the output. So, and you can't really take all these things into consideration, because time to time you don't even know that they're happening. So being kind of stuck in that perfectionist mode, when you just really, this is a hand, it has to be hand, and then right now I have to render it with my 0.05 brush, a really small detailed one, and be just like right here. I'm not saying that's it's not possible, but it happened to be extremely restrictive for me, and I couldn't let go of certain things. So right now I prefer to work with the cheap, larger brushes. You can see them here. Not always this is the case, but you know, pretty much those are my main favorite tools. And if you watch, the brush was still oily. And if you watch my previous streams, where not necessarily previous streams, but let's say the really bad painting Fridays, you might see me using, and especially last time, we used all the scrap materials that I had laying in the studio around, and it was enormous amount of fun. So I would highly encourage you to just go and experiment. You are, you know, maybe you're in the studio, maybe you are at home. You create that little space, the safe space, and that's actually also the reason for calling this asylum, because asylum is you know, basically a safe house, the place where you can really feel safe, and that's where that comes into a play. It's enormously important, I believe, for your creative work and creative potential, to have that space that you feel comfortable to explore without being judged or, you know, annoyed by everything around. But again, it has to be balanced, so you can't lock yourself there, because, you know, that's another story that I can talk about. When you lock yourself in between four walls and you don't get out, then you lose the touch with what's happening outside and with outside world, which is also not the best possible way. But you know, these are just a little few ideas to get you started, that, you know, just relax and just let go and just try to have fun. I know it's frustrating. I know, trust me, I know. I am frustrated with this painting. There's so many things that needs to be adjusted, and not only adjusted, decisions have to be made. And it's really important to make these decisions. And the sooner you make these decisions, the more confident you feel about these decisions, the more significant the progress is going to be. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's look into it and see what's up. It's also dark at your place. Yeah. I think this is what we are living in for 2-3 months right now. But it's cool. It's awesome. I really feel more Flemish right now. It's cold. I feel cold. It's not just cold. It's that kind of the moisture in the air makes it even more autumny. Even though it feels that it skipped autumn this year, and it went from beautiful sun, warm weather to immediately to cold and dark. So, but I enjoy it a lot. This is probably the time to create, to unleash that creative potential that it's. I believe in all of us. I actually strongly believe that. It's not about believing. I am convinced about that. Rather, that's what I should say. So we have, this a fragment right here, and I'm out of the frame for a reason, because I want to get as far as I possibly can away from my canvas. And the reason is because I want to observe a painting in its entirety, like as it's supposed to be a scene. Because if I'm right here, I can't really judge the things properly, because I'm focused on this area right here, because that's my focal point, right? So he's probably, the same height as I am, maybe a little shorter, right? Because this canvas, I believe it's 195 or 190. I think it's 195. I believe it's 195. So why don't I just measure it, right? that would be a good idea. I don't see my tape measure anywhere around lying. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's not that important. The important part is that really you have to step back. And luckily for me, but not everybody has that space enough, big enough to actually accommodate painting this big. I can't really sit and paint this because that's just no way I would be able to sustain that or be able to see what's happening. It's just sitting. It's not my thing. Plus, I need to do my 10,000 steps. So this going back and forth, it's my 10,000 steps. But I started yesterday with the adjustment of a garment of this guy, and I have to say that the kind of randomness that happened here really helped. It really helped. I had this painting upside down, and I still haven't secured this painting just so I can rotate it one more time perhaps, because I want to see it with that and I'm sorry, I'm thinking, so I am losing that thread of thought. So I want to turn it upside down so I can judge that composition. I had it for a while upside down, and it looked actually better than it looked from this perspective. And I don't know what's the reason behind it. I think that there is a lot of reflection right now that's coming into the studio from the window, and I'm in that really peculiar situation. And you might have actually come across this as well, is that there are areas that are dry completely. Then there are areas like on this forehead where I applied pigment a little bit thicker. Where is my pointy stick? There it is. So there are areas, as I mentioned, that they are really. This is still that kind of a clay or toothpaste consistency around here, because I applied it a little bit more impasto. And then I have areas that are completely dry, like this right here, with a lot of texture, a lot of tooth. So I should probably scrape this a little bit more because it's in the wrong spot. And you remember I told you that I like to scrape and keep it smooth unless I'm completely convinced about moving forward and having that texture there. And I rushed that decision, and I put the texture here, and then I still feel that this needs to be addressed. There are areas that are completely wet. This is dry, that's cool. There are areas that are completely wet because I painted them yesterday, so there will be these yellows right here. They're extremely wet, and also applied impasto. And then I have ideas like around here with the shadow, that they are not necessarily dry. They have that kind of a, they're completely wet, but some areas are kind of a sticky. So that would be a good place to add a more pigment. A problem is with this. The problem that I have with this is that you cannot, and I cannot, nobody can judge the values properly right now, which is extremely annoying. Why can I not judge the values properly? Well, it's because some of the paint, it's fresh, Some of the paint, like around here, it's completely dry and kind of sunk in. And in order for me to judge these two properly against each other, I have to oil this in. But then there are areas right here that I can't tell which ones are wet, still wet, like here. And there are areas that are dry, it's just a dark underneath. And I can't oil in everything because there's still wet paint here, so I would smudge the wet paint all over the place. So this is kind of a difficult point. And the more layers you have, the further you in your painting. So you are using that, you know, rule fat over lean. Plus the canvas already has multiple layers of pigment. So the top layers that are a little bit more oily or fattier, they're drying way slower, way slower. So it's kind of an inconsistency. That's that inconsistency with drying times, which might be really annoying. So I might do today one more adjustment for these figures. Probably I would like to work on this shoulder and the arms a little bit, because these are two things that bothers me the most right now. And then I want to put it on the side for a while. We're going to work on that. Hopefully I'll be able to work on that commission, which is also, it's probably going to be also larger canvas. I still didn't decide on the composition, but I would like to do it life size. We will see. Depends on the time and, you know, and work that is there. But I would like to make it life size, and I will leave this for a while so all the layers will dry to the point that they are touch dry. That means that I can start oiling in again. Yeah, you're glad that you're not the only one. Well, you know, everybody that uses oil as a painting medium, it's going to have that problem. There is inevitable. Well, you can avoid these problems if you work directly and you paint the section and that's it, and you leave it there. Then you paint another section, you leave it there, then you paint another. So doing this. Boom. Doing this will definitely increase your chances to avoid this problem. But since, you know, since I addressed this as the beginning, since this is not what I want to do, this is not what I care about, you have to be able to navigate through these things. So maybe the immediate follow-up question would be what to do in this particular case right now. Well, like I said, stop for a while so they dry, you know, so all the layers are kind of, you know, they set into a canvas. And then, you know, oil the part that you're going to work on and work in sections. That would be one. Another one would be just ignore it and just, you know, work into that, and you're gonna have this this issue with values later on, perhaps. But you know, if you, you know, there are plenty of examples when painters did this. Probably the most famous that I know of, it's Nikolai Fashin, a very famous Russian painter that moved to the United States, and then I think he lived in Mexico. An incredible painter. I think that, you know, he's, when it comes to painting, I think he's very close to Rembrandt. Not that he would paint like Rembrandt, but in my ranking, he would be definitely next to a Rembrandt. 100% when it comes to painters that I like, and he simply ignored this. He never varnished his paintings. He painted on really extremely absorbent surfaces. I have actually the example of that canvas here. I did it with my really good friend and fellow painter Ilya Zorkin. Shout out to him. He was actually part of the stream a couple weeks ago, having fun observing me and giving some pointers about painting being too dark. So we actually recreated that surface that fashion used to paint on, and it's extremely absorbent. It's like that wooden board. It's a really weird surface. You have to be careful because fashion's paintings are known for being extremely damaged because of the layers did not really. Since it's absorbent, it doesn't have really the greatest bonding properties. So you have to be extremely careful with those paintings. And I know that some of them they actually dried to the point that restorators cannot save them, and they just the chunks of paint are chipping away. So you have to be careful with that. But again, there is no end to this madness when it comes to painting. So painters are always trying to experiment at different things. Like Jackson Pollock comes into mind, who used just a regular that kind of a household paint. Or wall paint, or whatever it's called, the kind of acrylic synthetic thing. And there's plenty of other painters that experimented with pigments and paints. Probably all of you might not be aware of it, but Leonardo da Vinci, and he's the one who experimented more than was necessary, I guess, to the point that he was not able to finish anything because there was a lot of mishaps, but he was more, into that exploring. That being said, he was an incredible painter, one of probably the best. In Renaissance, for sure, he was definitely one of the if not leading figure of Renaissance, but definitely one of the leading figures of a Renaissance Italy painting, for sure, alongside with Michelangelo and then Raphael. So yeah, he was experimenting with all kinds of stuff, including wax and heating and then cooling things, and he was really out there when it comes to materials. That would be that. Or you can do what I do, use maybe some charcoal for adjustments and work this piece as a design right now, rather like designing more and more of these intricate cloth patterns and so on and so forth, because nothing's going to change on this, because I'm going to be working purely abstractly with shape. So maybe that could be another option. Perhaps, I have these elements that goes here nicely. I have this, I have book, and right now maybe I should hit this a little bit more, because I feel that will help the composition. And I was thinking about it, that this kind of a swoop, I like it a lot. That will help bring things together. And it's not bringing it together only diagonally, right? But it also creates that kind of a spatial relationship, right? So this is the farthest, this is the closest, and this is the middle. So I have a background, foreground, middle ground, right? These are just a little ideas, little pointers, because The unifying factor is that they are roughly same same volume and roughly the same shape. And then, you know, I kind of disregard this right here only because it's a completely different tool, serves a different purpose, and it's holding it differently as well. So visually, it is unifier, but in terms of, you know, figures are holding something in their hands, but strictly shape speaking, they are different. And then again, it's still I have a problem with this, and also the long dark value that goes all the way around here, right? So it's kind of dividing it or framing it in a way that I'm not really happy about. So yeah, I'll probably work on the shape a little bit more. Or maybe bring a clarity, or maybe I could work on hands and that shoulder, like I said, because that this I can still see that it's sticky. That means it's not completely sunk in. So I have a pretty good idea about the value. Plus, it still reflects a lot of light, so I can tell that the moment, you know, as long as it's reflecting a light. It's like a glossy, you still can, that's that oil or whatever medium you use, it's still there, so it's still on the surface. And then again, you have to be careful with the oiling in, because you might have seen some paintings, maybe you have it at home, that they have kind of a sweat that builds up on the top of oil, or like an oil leakage. I don't know how to say that. I don't know what's the technical term for that is. I don't remember it in English. But it's just excessive use of oil. First of all, linseed oil, it's just everything's going to get yellow over time, and not only over time. It just depends on the exposure that it has on the sun. So you have to take this into a consideration as well. I have a good tea today, interestingly. So yeah, I'm probably going to really work a little bit more on the arm, this one right here, and yeah, and this is still wet. That's crazy. How much pigment did I use there? You can tell this that I repainted this multiple times, because there's really, the pigment does not want to dry. That means there's a lot of surfaces there already, so it does not go as fast through those layers. And the oil, it's already on the top of existing layer. It doesn't, you know, penetrate all the way through. So those are these waiting times, and that goes also to that discussion that we had about being able to properly it's about the time management, right? So this is something that will definitely screw your time management if you are not used to it, or not aware of it, rather, right? So yeah, but this is all nicely dry, and this is I scraped this and I sanded this, so this is a really a thin layer here, so I can get into that. So yeah, let me work on that hand. That will be probably the best way to continue. Let me just, I think that I don't have, let me see. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to try something. Yeah, because I was trying to get a little bit better understanding of what's happening with arms. Okay. Yeah, that might be actually helpful. So maybe I should create a, and I'm thinking right now out loud, so maybe I should create this area right here. The problem is that this needs to go maybe a little bit more out. Maybe just a little bit. And that would solve that problem that I have the feeling of a feet being too big, or legs being too big. Just a touch. So I'm going to do a couple adjustments right now, and they're mostly going to deal with the hands, because I feel that I need to address the hands. They really have to go and be better. So I don't know. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna push this even more here. I'm gonna put the saturation there. I like these little imperfections here. Yeah, I can work on this. So let me secure it to an easel. Let's see right now. Hopefully this is okay. All right. Yep. And let me perhaps bring it a little bit more forward. I don't know if this is going to change that too much, the view. Then I'll adjust the camera. Yeah, because it's too, there's the dark, not the dark corner necessarily, but I need more light on it. So I'm bringing it a little closer. Maybe I should push it even more towards that, closer to a window, because I'm kind of far away from a window right now. So that might help as well. So perhaps, for that, another project, I'll just move this a little bit more towards there. All right, so I have this. Now, yeah, let's decide on what to do with that shoulder. So maybe I should do the bump right here and push it here. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe I'll push this even lighter, this area behind him. Let me start with that, actually. Because that would show me what to do with that garment, and that will help me to decide what to do next. Okay, and then I should definitely address this area right here. So this, and then perhaps maybe it should go even further. And then I could show more of that arm right here, and it would go this way. But it's fairly, just a subtle curve right here. And I was looking into a mirror today, and I can still do it even right now to see what's happening with that elbow. So I think I have a wrong position. That's what bothers me, because I should see more of that, of this side, and I see it like more like this. So it doesn't feel that he moved his arm all the way there. So I need to address that and fix that. It's kind of an issue. So sorry for this, but this is probably not the best for the microphone. I'm using a razor blade right now because there is a really a thick and if you are if you're deciding on whether or not to use a razor blade, oh, please be careful with that. It's probably one of the coolest days. Not coolest days, it was just I felt so excited. It was my first day in actual college in the United States. It's not the college, it's the academy, you know, so it's like a private school. And I was so excited. It was a first day. It was finally, I was there. I joined that. I was very, I don't want to say that I was shy, because the funny thing is that I was working in the school. Well, working. I was I was volunteering. I wanted to be next to art. So I went there and I told them that I'm just gonna come here, I'm gonna do whatever you want me to do. I just want to study here because this is the only, not the only, but the one school that I really found interesting when it comes to classical figure painting, and it's actually it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. So anyway, what I wanted to say is that I was working there, and then, you know, I was kind of familiar with the staff, and like I said, working. Well, I was volunteering. I said that I'm just gonna, you know, sweep. I don't know, outside of a school on the parking lot. And they were like, all right, so you can go and you can sweep the parking lot. And I was, oh, so you're eating lunch? Bon appetit, as they say. In French, I believe, in France, I believe. So I was there in the school, knowing the staff. I remember it's California, it's Los Angeles, and everybody, you know, Los Angeles like have these groups and companies that come and they, you know, clean parking lots, right? So it was like there was these lots, and there was different companies, and one of the lots was there was our school there, and they had like a large parking spot, and there always come these guys with these leaf blowers and clean everything, you know, and then just they have these vacuums, and, you know, it all, you know, it was all kind of organized. And then you see me in the school, like a big parking lot, and I was doing it because I didn't have any tools, anything, it's just a broom. So I was sweeping the whole parking lot. And I was thinking that, oh, I'm here, I made it, I'm as close to school as possible. This is awesome, it cannot be better. And then, you know, after 2 hours, when you just like sweeping, and there's no end to this sweeping. There's just, it was crazy. It was so much it was really like physical work. And I have a sun-sensitive skin, and it was hot outside, as you know, in California, in the SoCal in Southern California usually is, and I was sweating. I felt really, it dawned to me that okay, this is not going to be as easy as I thought. Getting to school as a volunteer, I thought how hard I thought how hard was it, but then I realized that that's probably the easiest way to get into school. So I was working there throughout the summer, and then on September we started. I started as a student there, and I remember the first day. That's why I actually started this story. And the razor blade story. First day, I'm super excited. I came early first. I was, preparing and setting up the studio for everybody. I met the teacher, professor, or master for me, because that's how I look at him. He showed me his work, and I was so excited. He showed me that we're gonna draw a classical approach, and it's gonna be all kinds of cool stuff. So the lesson started, and and this is true story, it was just so funny. He was like, guys, I'm going to show you first, because this is the most important part. You have the pencils right here, that's your tool, and it always has to be sharp and ready and prepared. I'm going to show you how to sharpen it. So he took that pencil, and he grabbed the razor, and he just did one sweep, and he absolutely demolished his finger. It looks like he kind of like I don't know what he did, but there was blood everywhere, and that was the end of the first class on drawing. It was nothing major. Nothing like a bad happened to him. We were just joking about that. The whole rest of the semester. So he was do as I say, not as I do, and. So if you're using razor, please be careful, because it seems that it's like no-brainer how to use it, but even masters sometimes have a problem with it. I don't know what happened, and he was laughing about it because he didn't even felt it, because the razor was so sharp, it just went into his skin. So, yeah. But the blood was everywhere, like the whole, and we didn't. He just, it's just the whole school was just, what happened? What did you do? And I was like, nothing. I handed him a razor. I can't control his hand. So I was, these things happen. So just FYI, be careful with your razor blade. Another thing is that if you're doing these techniques that you're scraping that surface, there's going to be a lot of mess around. So get ready for that, because it's all on the floor, and then I have to vacuum that. And then again, if you are using a sandpaper, if you are using these razors or scraping, remember, some of your pigments are really toxic. I mean, really, really toxic. So be aware of that. And when you do this, they become airborne. Because you are totally fine using lead white with oil. Nothing going to happen to you. It's not going to penetrate your skin. It's not going to get into your system. The problem is when you start diluting your lead white with solvents. Solvents are, thinners, and they're going to thin the paint to the point that your skin is going to absorb it through those pores that you have in your skin. So that's the problem with the lead white. And another thing is when you start eating it, of course, so you have to be aware and brush and clean everything properly before you eat. And then the second biggest problem is when you start sanding it down or scraping it, because that's when it became airborne. Yeah, it was all my fault with the razor blade. I'm pretty sure it was my fault. Yeah, because that's first thing that people are like, oh my God, he's holding a razor. This is what's going to happen. And trust me, I have a fair share of cuts. Not only that, I have, I don't know if you know this, but this is kind of a extreme example. I have enormous amount of little chips of graphite pencils under my skin. And the reason is because I didn't wanted to carry a backpack with me, and I always had like a pencils in my pocket. And when you have really sharp pencil, as I was reaching into my pocket with a with the hand, so I have so many how do you call them, the insertions, like when the needle penetrates the skin. So I was penetrating my skin with the graphite pencils, and then sometimes it broke, and I still have a couple of them in my hand. You can still see them there. It's quite interesting. I don't know why, but that's something that that used to happen to me, and I know other people that have the same problem. So so there are these little accidents, and then usually the way how I cut myself, because I hold the razor blade, I don't know if you can see it, I hold the razor blade like this, and then I am sharpening my pencil, and sometimes it can catch you right here. So I have this, I use this all the time. So there is like a little, it's kind of calcified. It get harder. So right now it's okay, but at the beginning that was a big thing. And if you never sharpen your pencils with razor blade, you're gonna get a headache from that. You're gonna get a headache, especially if you're like a soft charcoal. And good luck. It's just something to. Oh wow, okay. I'm just reading your comments. Just yeah, wow. Okay, there's you should probably I should start thinking about, because all my knives are dull in the kitchen. Actually, everything is dull in my kitchen. Actually, my kitchen look like a true collector's kitchen. I can't see anything here. This is ridiculous. It's really dark. It's really dark. It is really, really dark. What if I, Yeah, collector's kitchen. I told you I'm gonna steal that idea of being a collector. It just, unfortunately, I'm not collecting things that have value. I'm collecting non-valuable things. Maybe I could push. Well, here's what I'm thinking. Because right now the arm looks relaxed. So maybe if I exaggerate some of the tendons and muscles, like when it's just when you like really hold it, you can see these tendons and the muscles. So maybe I could push that a little bit more to exaggerate that she's really holding it. Well, it has sent I don't know if the box from takeaway food has any sentimental value to me, but you know, I'm still even though you know, it's getting to smell, I still think that I might find use to it somewhere, in some place. I don't know. And then the funny thing is that I don't really. You can pretend it does. Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I'm just going to be. Do you check me on that Rauschenberg? If I'm. Let me just Google it right now because I think that's his name. The person that was just the artist that was known for. Yeah, Robert Rauschenberg. I was right. So this is the guy. I'm just going to copy paste it into a chat. No, I can't. I don't know why. Robert. I hope that I'm spelling it right. I think this is Robert Rauschenberg. And this is the guy my art history teacher introduced me to this person, and we went to a LA what is that, modern art Museum of Modern Art, Los Angeles, and he was really collecting all kinds of stuff, and he was making, sculptures from it, and not only sculptures, but all kinds of I would say installations, So I think that my kitchen, my apartment actually would be a great source of materials for him. So another thing that might happen to you, as just happened to me, is that the little particles from or shavings got stuck on that freshly painted layer from yesterday. I mean, So this I could push lighter and create like a really thin layer here that will kind of create a half tone and then a half tone right here. That's cool. A light right here, and then I can push this tangent right here. And I could go all the way here, and this where the elbow would be. And I need to extend this a little bit more. I have to be careful because it shouldn't look too big. It shouldn't look too big. Because I'm comparing it to a head. 1, 2. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe I can push it a little bit. Just a touch. So let's get into it. this guy. This guy looks like a... So I need to put the gloves on. Did you check his work, Robert Rauschenberg? Are you familiar with his work, or it's just something new that I accidentally learned in history class? Can't see nothing, rather. I don't know, today's probably going to be a shorter stream because I really can't see. Perfect weather for tea and a book. Yeah, trust me, I am considering every possible option and how to get out of this. The most outside point, and then this right here, that's where the elbow, maybe even lower, we could go lower. This is where the elbow could be right here. Yeah, I could push it a little lower, and that will give me a little bit more space. I'm trying to create a little bit more interesting. So this is going to be a side plane right here. So I want to create a little bit more of that three-dimensional. You would, you know what? I am still considering it, and only because, and this is one of those days when you really have to prioritize, because me doing this right now, I would never recommend you to do this, because you're going to really mess up your painting. You would really mess up your painting. And I'm doing this because I'm stupid. I don't know. Because I am. I'm not that much afraid, because I can still kind of see values. And then, you know, when I was studying at the Imperial Academy in St. Petersburg, this is just a normal day for us. All of us, we painted like this. So there are certain things that you can see, certain things that you cannot see. I can see value, so I can work with the shape more. So I'm pushing more of that value feel than anything else. And that's what kind of that kind of helps in a way. But really, if you want to if you don't want to screw your painting, you shouldn't do this. Well, you know, it makes sense, and that's the only thing that I can see of value in shapes at this point. You know, so it's kind of a, I don't have anything else, right? And this would be probably the time for you to maybe reevaluate certain things, maybe look and use this time and environment to, you know, we talked about going outside, having a cup of coffee, write something down, and this environment, it's extremely perfect for that. That kind of it almost wants me to travel, to go to Amsterdam and just, you know, go to museum and just see things, cool paintings, and, you know, explore and experience something new. Or ideally, even better, and perhaps that's what I should do, I should switch to drawing, and perhaps I should draw. I have plenty of unfinished drawings that I should finish. So I would highly recommend to anybody to go into this. Ooh, I could do this. Okay, I just saw something. This can go lighter. This can go darker. So I'm trying to right now work with the shape, and I can always then it's rainy here as well, and it's not the rain necessarily. It's that kind of a really just a really thin. It almost looks like it's like a drizzling, not even drizzling. It's just so thin, and if you go out, you can't even see that it's raining from inside when you're looking through the windows. But then, and you cannot feel it when you're outside. But after a couple minutes, you are soaked in that moisture. So that's what's happening right now outside. So it's just a perfect perfect condition to just go to museum, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, write down some cool ideas, new ideas that you want to explore, and use that as your productivity moment. I don't know how to say that. And right now I'm wondering, what if I maybe not. Yeah, scratch that. Give me a second, please. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a little bit, since I was talking about that tea, and I just want to get warmer tea. It's just kind of okay. I have to address this. No, I'm just gonna get the tea, and then I'm gonna address what you said about the museum. I'll be right back. Just a second. read in the comment that it's too bad that you live so far away and it takes you 2.5 hours. I think that this is a price that I'm willing to pay for to get to Rijksmuseum. I mean, you shouldn't have told me this, because right now I don't want to say that I'm angry with you, but I have to travel 3 hours to Vienna and then jump onto a plane that's gonna go another 2 hours, and then I have to travel, I think, 45 minutes from airport to that museum. And I'm pretty sure that you know that I'm a big fan of Rembrandt. And if you don't know that, I am a pretty big fan of Rembrandt. Just, FYI. So yeah. But I know, it's still, I have 3 hours to get to Vienna Museum, and I don't go there as often as I would like to. And then also I have to say, Vienna is extremely expensive. The museum in Vienna is extremely expensive. I think last time when I went, they asked me for what, 24 euros? I almost, hours one way. Well, I know, I use public transportation myself, so I know. And trust me, there's no easy way out of it. You're absolutely right. You have to convince someone else to take you there. And then, it's 2.5 hours of ride one way, 2.5 another way, that's 5 hours, and then you want to be in the museum for 5 hours. So there is very few people that are willing to actually sacrifice their whole day by just being as a support character in someone else's featured movie. I know, I feel you. I feel your pain. I have the same thing. But then, I have to go to Vienna. Actually, speaking about Vienna, well, here's the thing. If tomorrow, because I'm afraid that tomorrow is going to be the same. According to broadcast, there should be the same weather tomorrow as well. So I think I could go to Vienna tomorrow to grab some pigments and paints. If I will be able to decide on the size of the canvas for that commission painting. Perhaps I could do that. That could give me some, I could push this green, neutral green, right here, and then this is okay. I could erase this. I don't need it here. And that should be in there. Because I was actually, it's a funny thing that you're talking about, that we talk about that museum. Yesterday I was looking into my calendar, and I was looking like how much does it cost to fly to Amsterdam. Surprisingly, Amsterdam is one of the most expensive cities to fly in. I have no idea why. I can get to London for $50 round trip. There is no way I'll get to Amsterdam under 200. It's just I don't know why. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't is it that I have to Google why it's so expensive to go to fly to Amsterdam. I don't get it. I went to you know I just went to Italy during the summer, and it was just it was easier and cheaper to fly to Italy than use any other transport, which is kind of cool. So what I'm trying to say is that flying to Florence from here to Florence, stay there overnight, pay for the museum ticket, will cost me probably the same amount than just a ticket, than just a airplane ticket to Amsterdam, which is just crazy. And I could do the same thing. Well, maybe Spain is. I don't know if Spain is more expensive or less, but the same goes for Spain. Or France is definitely expensive. It's out of my reach. Okay, so a little softer value right here. I'm gonna have a little bit of that right there. I'm pretty sure that this is over-exaggerated shadow, like it's super orangey. But tomorrow I can correct it. It's going to be easier for me to make it a little bit duller than make it a little less, a little more vibrant. And I need to squeeze a little bit more of that green since I started to using it. I want to keep that harmony going with that green, transparent green. Okay, can you see pigments? sorry, I'm looking for another box of pigments, and I don't know where I put it. Found it. So what am I looking for? Transparent green. What is this sorcery? Where is my transparent green? Okay, so most likely I'll have to go to Vienna to get more pigments because I don't have it here. Okay, it's not here. I have one more chance, and it could be in my in the backpack that I used to take painting outside. I use for taking you know, when I go for these plein airs that I never do, but I have a separate backpack that I use for it, and there should be there it is. There should be some pigments there. Are they? I can feel something here, but it's not a pigment. So here is what's happening. Update on my pigment situation. Is this serious? Did I really reuse? All my secret stash is gone. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Seems like it. Okay, so this stream is going to be about darkness, and then about me not being able to find pigments that I need. Maybe a little organization in my shelves would be beneficial, because I have just boxes of loose tubes. Wait, no. Okay, someone was here and stole all my transparent green.
cool, guys, not cool. Well, I'm getting annoyed. I have like 20 tubes of Viridian that I don't use at all, and literally 0 tubes of transparent green. Yep. Well, whoa. No. Got excited too soon. Well, so what am I going to do? I have that Viridian here that I could use. But Viridian is not transparent. And it's not warm the way that I want it to be warm. Cobalt green is way too light and way too cool. Maybe I could same goes for cerulean. I can't really mix. I found just the last piece of it, so let's do this. Let's make most of this. Find some substitute for this pigment because I don't think I can get this specific brand here in Europe. So let's make most out of it. It's just a green that is really transparent and has enormous amount of yellow in it. So it's kind of easier to mix it into with reds, and it doesn't turn desaturated. So I have that armor right there. But what kind of transparent green do you use for, or if you ever use green? Because I was not really a green person per se. phthalo green. I've never tried phthalo green. I never said I have a bad experience with phthalo blue, but and you know, when I say bad experience, it's just that it's only because it's just so potent that you really have to know what you're doing if you are using that, which is awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. Then it curves here, and then it goes into a actually, since I have it here, I can hit this mixture with the yellow over the warm green, just to hit the darker value, because I want to put a little bit more of that texture here. More of that yellow, more of that green, touch of the red. It's just this green, for some reason, I don't know, I was not convinced to use it. Works with this particular painting, and it's because I kind of exhausted every other possibility with that blue-orange. Well, see, that's a using that mixture with Indian yellow and ultramarine blue, yeah, it gives you a nice, nice pigment. Only problem that I have with this particular mixture, and you know, mixture, any other mixture for that reason, is that I am trying to mix. Trying to mix how would I put this? If I already have a mixture of two pigments, introducing a third and fourth into it, it's exponentially more difficult, and that's why I, you know, that's why I not necessarily venture away from limited palette. It's just these were the problems that I encountered when I used strictly limited palette. It was difficult to go, oh, I'm going to first create the green with blue, with the black and yellow ochre, but then the second that you want to make it warmer, you have to be careful because you don't really have that much options to work with. So that's why I switched to more of that impressionistic palette, or palette that used impressionists, that they had pigments that they were specifically, you know, they have variants of warm yellow and cool yellow. Then you had warm red, and then you had cool red, and then also you could extend it even more. You have warm and cool light red and warm and cool dark reds, and then also you can go even further and you have warm and cool transparent reds, warm and cool opaque reds. So that's when your palette starts to expand into like a really crazy amount of pigments. And that the only reason is that I can't really keep that high saturation with like 4 or 5 mixtures. Yeah, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's just, you know, it's just you can mix the with anything that you have. You know, I still think about that quote by Delacroix that, you know, I hope that it was Delacroix, that he can make dirt shine like a sun, along those lines. And you're absolutely right. It's just these are good combinations. I don't see anything. Or actually, I see nothing. So this is where the value of that album is going to be. And there is a half tone. There is the redness right here. And then there is a half tone here. Going right here. So this is where I could push it. But right now it might be a little too big on the big side. Let's see. It's getting really dark. I don't think I can continue anymore because I can't even see the values anymore. Yeah, I think that I'm done for today. Didn't do that much, but these are really not the suitable conditions for working. Excuse me. Maybe I could push this a little bit. Maybe if I turn it this way. Right now I just have a series of yeah, I tried. Yeah, it seems like it's a writing time, so I'm just gonna sit down, sip tea, and write something down, or perhaps work on that NDA project, which has to be done, by the way, by the December 11. Crazy. Maybe I could push this lower. And then right now, when my canvas is this way, I can everything. It's shiny or reflect. Oh, so you have your birthday's December 10th. That's awesome. So we should do something, some celebration, like a special, you know, special stream for you, something cool. All right. So what's the day of December 10th? I hope it's Friday, so we can do bed painting Friday celebration. It's Tuesday. Okay, so it's going to be super cool bed painting Friday on Tuesday. I'm just going to, yeah. No way I can work today. There's just, I see nothing. I really see nothing. I can't even judge the values properly because I can't see the difference between halftone and the shadow, or reflected light rather. Yeah, I'm sorry I have to. Probably, yeah, maybe I could, figure something out. Maybe tomorrow, let's do this. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm sorry for today. There's just, and you know, again, I don't think that this is necessarily that bad, or that, you know, dramatic or end of the world. It's all good. It's just I can't really do anything today. And I'm thinking, do I have some leftover stuff so I can reuse the pigment? Was this primed? Wasn't? I can prime this one. Okay, I still have this little guy right here. And some other canvases here. Yeah, this happens. I know. I was just so excited to come to a studio and work. You know, paint rather. I'm still going to work, but I wanted to paint because yesterday I actually left. I got home. It was almost 1 a.m. Because I was working on that project. Have a chance to do anything else. And today I was like, oh, I'm just going to paint and it's gonna be fun. Oh, here's something that I wanted to show you actually. So I used to use, like, this is the cheapest thing that you can use for painting. So this is a cardboard. And then I just you know, use that cardboard, like ignore the bad painting here of the apple. But you know, see, this is the surface. This is the same. You know, really, this is a cardboard, like straight out of a cardboard box, and I primed it with PVA glue, and it's almost broken here. You can see the crease, right? So this is like the cheapest thing, and you can see that it's shiny because it has that kind of a glue, like PVA glue sheen on it. So that will be probably the cheapest way. And then this, I believe, was primed with, this is a paper, and it was primed with shellac. Yeah. It was primed with the shellac. And this is a kind of a cool drawing, cool kind of a drawing a setup, because it has like a shellac creates like a little, it almost feels like a sandpaper, but it's not, but it really nicely grabs a pigment. So this is really, but you can paint on it if you want to. If you so choose. So this is what I was looking for before, the really cheap version. So I'm pretty sure that everybody can get the cardboard. Yeah. It was just, you know, this is and again, but you keep in mind that this is for bed painting Fridays, right? What I mean by that is bed painting Fridays are not archival. Like if any, like I said, if any restaurator will see this, it will probably, I don't know, I mean, they would have a panic attacks from these. But here's the thing, you know, it's just, it is what it is, because these art supplies are not getting any cheaper. Actually, I could switch to what time is it? I have two more hours, so I could switch to a digital and actually do that promised digital painting that I didn't do on Sunday. So maybe I could do that. I just don't have a setup for that. Even if I don't do it, I just wanna. I look at that cool primed canvas of yours. The only thing that I would recommend you to change is to go all the way to the edges. Trust me, I have my fair share of missteps when it comes to this, and I always go from corner to corner when I'm priming or whatever am I doing with the canvas and preparing the surface. I always goes all the way to the edges. I know it might sound like no-brainer, but we tend to forget that, and I saw that you did the same thing with your preparation. It was not corner to corner, and it kind of it can get you into trouble because you will still have these white areas right there. And first of all, you're going to judge values not really accurately when it hits the white area, because you're automatically going to assume that it's whatever pigment that you put there, it's way too dark than it should. And they're going to throw you off. So that might be something that I would, if I were you, I would push that all over the place. Yeah, you didn't have that's what I thought. But it's just, I remember that first plein airs that I was working on, it was on white canvas only. And the problem with that white canvas was that if you wanted to do like a quick sketches, the white canvas always showed through, and I was extremely annoyed by that. And then, actually Ilya Zorkin, the guy that I was talking about, he showed me that he puts like a really like a thin wash of, I'm gonna save this because it's a nice continuous pigment. And he showed me that he did like a really thin layer of golden yellow, or like almost orangey, but very thin, very soft, orangey. Like it was orange more towards the yellow underneath, under painting, and it showed like beautifully, like it kind of glistened when you put, let's say, when you do the sky on top of that. When it's dry, of course, it's acrylic paint, so it's a bit acryl. So he showed me to do this, and from that moment, whenever I go outside, I try to pre-toned my canvases. Where's the little gizmo? Very good. And if you don't have it from corner to corner, it's also annoying, because then that white is going to intervene. You're gonna have a hard time to create that feeling of lightness or underpainting when you do something that's supposed to be quick and alla prima. So, and if you feel that you don't have enough paint, you always have some paint on your brushes. So I would just brush it around, and rather to be like a dry brush, rather to be like not fully covered, then just leave it completely white. That would be probably the only recommendation that I would give you to when it comes to this. Okay, so this is going to be more about cleaning a palette than video about cleaning the palette than anything else. And I'm sorry for that. I really can't control that weather, and I really don't want to work under the artificial light because, you know, we already tested it, but just for the sake of argument, I mean, this is how bad it is. So for tomorrow, I probably prepare working on drawing. So I might work on that NDA project, and today. Then I have some private lessons, and then I could figure out some sketches for that, or at least a size that I want to work with that national folk costume. And then tomorrow I could start maybe preliminary drawing for that painting. But you can see that this is just way too orange. This is just like extremely annoying. Yeah, this needs to be addressed a little bit more, and probably tomorrow I'll just scrape it away because I need to figure it out the better shape for that elbow. Right now I'm looking only for a shape design. I'm trying to get rid of that feeling of color. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. Here's the thing. I try to figure it out everything today. Perhaps tomorrow we can do a preliminary drawing or some sketches. If it's going to be as dark as it is right now, we might do these sketches in digital medium, or if I figured out everything today, I will post on X whether or not I'll go to Vienna tomorrow, depending on weather, depending on the situation, how much I can actually get done today. So again, I'm sorry for today. It's really I was really excited to paint. Well, that's something that I can't really deal with it right now. And perhaps I'll just move this a little bit more that way and do a different setup for a camera, so I'm a little closer to a window. Because as deeper I get into the studio, the darker it's going to get. So there might be another thing to try. So let me see. Let me rearrange certain things. Let me. Maybe if I put myself into a spot, because right behind this, my palette, I have that little spot for our bed painting Friday experiments. So I might actually reuse that little area, that little nook, little corner for actual painting. So yeah. Thank you for joining me today. It was a really short, kind of uninformative video today. We talked more than actually painted, and I'm sorry for that. But that's the nature of working with the natural light. You have to be ready for these things, and this is also a good lesson when it comes to that idea of being. Scheduling yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. I scheduled myself. I knew that I'm going to paint 4 hours today, and I didn't. So it's going to show at the end that I'm missing them. So this is a great reminder to all of you that having multiple projects going on, and one it's right now. This is for me. I have one that it's commission, and I have another one which is NDA. So I can switch between them. according to a situation, because they are not all in the same stage, right? So I can work on some drawing, I can work digitally, and then when I see that it's the weather, it's as it's supposed to, I can hit this painting again. So, I'm not being angry that I cannot paint. I'm not going to put myself into that, not necessarily a depression mode, but I am going to adapt to this situation. And I am, I still can work on this painting, perhaps visually. That means I'll open the books, I open a Pinterest, I do more research, I want to create, because that's another thing that I'm working on, I am creating my own custom frame for it. So I can work, in the little corner that is right there. So I have a little space to work with wood there. So I would probably work on that, and because it's part of a painting process. I want to make sure that I control everything from the first till the last thing, and that includes frame as well, because being able to make frames, perfect frames, it used to be a whole nother atelier where they were people that or masters that were focusing on creating frames and choosing proper frames for your painting. It's actually a big step. And another thing is I need to start thinking about that frame, because I have to put it in the frame before it's going to be all finished, so I can see and judge it how it looks when it's framed. It's a common practice amongst professional painters. So don't get alarmed if at one point there's going to be a frame there, because then I can change the color. Perhaps I can change the color of or adjust the color of the background, or I can adjust the color of the frame, and the hue and value depend on the situation. So that's another very important part of finishing your painting. So there is plenty of other things that you can do, and if all this fails and you don't feel like doing anything, there is always just you and a piece of paper and a pen, and write down the ideas. Write down what would you like to do, and where would you like to progress with your artwork. That helps me to kind of put down on the paper some ideas, and when they are on the paper, trust me, it sounds completely different than in my head. And then I can scratch the things that, this is such a cliche, I don't like this. And if I read this from someone else, I would be like, nah, this is not something that is going to end up well. So there is enormous amount of options, enormous amount of ideas how to continue, how to progress with the painting. So don't really get discouraged from this. I am certainly not discouraged, and I'm going to take that time, and I'm going to just work on another project. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and if not, I'll post on X what's gonna happen and what the schedule is. But most likely I won't be able to finish it by tomorrow. But in any case, here's what is in my mind, and yeah, that's it. There's nothing else that comes to my mind that I should address. If there is something that you would like me to address, let me know. I'll be more than happy at least to try, if it's in my powers, and if not, we will figure it out together what to do with it. So enjoy the rest of the day, and hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye. By the way, I forgot one more thing.
I created a outro finally, so it's gonna go into a dark black screen, so it's gonna be fun.